Hey everybody, Steven here playing Red Dead Online, and today I have a video showcasing my tips for anybody new to Red Dead Online. So with this coming to PC and Google Stadia, there's been a huge influx of new players, so hopefully this helps any of you out there that are wanting to level up your character and just get better at exploring the world here. So first off, everybody has to go through these first couple of missions, meeting crypts, getting your camp set up. It's just like the campaign that it's kind of like a slow burn for the intro here, so it does take a little bit of time to finally get established. Now once you go through these, the good news is you can just explore and kind of go out there and do whatever you want to afterwards, and then you can come back to this main story that they have woven into the online experience whenever you want to. And that brings me to my first tip, which is after you go through these, don't bother going through any more, in my opinion. I think the best thing to do is to actually pick one of the three roles that they have. So you can become a bounty hunter, a trader, or a collector. And out of those three, picking the trader or the collector is your best bet, in my opinion. Now, if you're not familiar with the world, the collector might seem a little bit daunting because you're trying to go run around and find certain things. So it might be easier for you to actually pick the trader role. But if you want to try and do that anyways, I actually suggest doing the collector role first because you can level up much quicker, you get more XP, and you can sell those things and then get a lot more money. So let's kind of unpackage those two. I do think the bounty hunter role is usually the last one. You do get gold bars with that one, which you don't get with the trader role or the collector role, but you're not getting as much money or XP, so you're having to do a lot more of these bounties in order to get the same amount that you're getting with the large sums that you're getting with the collector role or the trader role. Quick tips for the trader role. So perfect carcasses get you more in terms of product that you can actually get to the point where you could do a delivery much quicker. With that, you have a small wagon, a medium, and a large. Small gets you $62. Once you level up and you can access the medium and buy that, that gets you $150. And then once you level that up further, you get the large, and that can get you $500. Now with that, when you do your local deliveries, it's a smaller amount of money. You can do a distant delivery, but with that, you have the chance of other players attacking you. And if they attack you, you have the potential to lose everything, so it's a little bit more risky. So with that, when you do your deliveries, usually the people that you're delivering it to are getting attacked. You're going to have to fend those people off. So definitely want to have your guns stocked up there. But this does pan out, and you can get a lot more money very, very quickly if you're willing to just go out there and find all the carcasses. So this brings me to the collector role tips. With this, I'm actually playing the free roam mission Shipwreck, where you actually just go out there and find a bunch of collectibles, and you're trying to compete with other players to find as many as you can. So this is one of my favorite free roam missions. Now this is specific to the collector role. The good news is you could sell all the ones that you find, or you can just keep collecting until you have the full set. Now with this, the trader role actually has one of these as well, which is I think it's called the trading route. And what you're doing with that one is you're actually defending a train, and if you get to the end, you get to keep all of those goods, right? So those things will stack, and you get to use those in order to do a delivery much quicker. So with this, the free roam mission is something you should always do, in my opinion, if it pops up. It doesn't always pop up when you're playing, so when it does, it's one of those things that I think it's best to do that. You also have to wait and level up your character to get to the point where you can buy a shovel. That's very, very important for all the dig sites. And then you need to get a metal detector, which comes much later. That will assist you in this free roam mission as well, and as you actually navigate the world, because you can find different items like family heirlooms and things like that you're going to need to, and especially the coins, which is like the biggest one that you can actually sell if you have the whole set at $500 something. So with that, leveling up is important to get that shovel and to get that metal detector. Now that comes down the road, but prior to that, you can find a lot of the items just scattered around the world without needing those things. And you get anywhere from 100 to 200 XP with this, so you can see how that stacks really, really quickly. I mean, it can find 5 items and have anywhere between 500 and 1,000 XP for just wandering around. And with this, if you're like, well, I don't know where to look, just go on YouTube and there are a ton of videos showcasing you the locations. Now these things are on a cycle, so they're going to do a 1, 2, 3 day cycle. But what you'll find is in certain areas, there's just a ton of them in a general area. So it might be around Rose or Valentine. You'll notice sometimes they're like in a specific city. Sometimes they're just around a specific area that maybe there's a cool little monument or there's just something cool there that it can kind of essentially have a bunch of different buried ones around. So this is something that you can level up very, very quickly. Not only the role itself, but your character will level up very, very quick with this. And then once you collect all of them, now you get to go sell that for a much larger sum of money than selling them individually. But in the meantime, you can sell these individually, so you just have funds in order to buy ammunition, to buy anything that you need. Which brings us to my second big tip, which is that you need to buy a very good horse early on. It really sucks when you have a horse that doesn't have a ton of stamina and you're trying to chase somebody down, or you're just wanting to cross the map and you're constantly having to wait for your horse's stamina to regenerate, or you're paying a ton of money for a horse stimulant so that you can actually just get this horse further along. Now the roles in the first tier, which is the first 5 levels, have decent horses. So I would say that's your best bet, and you can actually afford those typically. So I would get that first, one of those, and then after that you're actually seeing me ride. It's the red chestnut Arabian horse, and that's one of the better horses that you can get just in general in my opinion, and it's actually one of the horses that you can get very early on in the game. So I say get one of these as soon as you can. Now my third tip is to pay the money, get good guns, right? That makes a huge difference from the ones that you start with. So me personally, I always opt for the Litchfield repeater as soon as I can, or the Lancaster, and then I want a shotgun as quick as I can get it. Down the road I'll actually get a bow so you can do some hunting, and then you need one of the actual rifles for hunting as well. So the better guns are definitely going to serve you. Whether you're doing the bounty role or the trader role, you don't really need it for the collector role necessarily, unless you're just trying to fend off people, because it's online, so people will really mess with you. You can always opt into defensive mode. I'll make sure I have links for other videos that help you guys out along the way, but some people might not want to do that. So with this, the better guns that you can get, and some of these you're going to have to unlock down the road, but the second you can get these good guns, make the investment, get the good guns. They make a world of difference when you're actually navigating the world. And that brings me to my fourth tip, which is do the daily challenges. There's a ton of different reasons to do that, but the main thing is some of these are so easy and it's just extra XP and gold bars, right? So when you start out in the first week, when you do your streaks, the first week you're getting 0.2 gold for everything, and then it goes to 0.3, then it goes to 0.4, but every time you complete one, you're getting 200 XP. As you can see, all I had to do was go to the bar and get drinks. That was it, and I got 200 XP. Sometimes it's change your belt buckle, or eat something at camp, right? Have the stew, whatever it may be. A lot of times these are very, very easy. Now they have these sectioned out too, so you have your regular ones, and then you have ones that are specific to roles, so you can actually level up on your roles much quicker for things you're most likely already doing, like collecting items, bringing in bounties, or just turning in carcasses to crypts. So that brings us to number 5 here, which is you need to raid items as much as you can, whether that's from houses, campsites, from people that you've killed. These things are something that you don't have to spend money on, especially when it's things that you're going to need. And you just saw me grab a horse reviver there. Those are expensive. Those are $4. And when you're starting out, you don't have a ton of money. So this is a way to get those things. And some of the daily challenges too are like, eat canned food. Well, instead of going and buying it, you already have it because you've been raiding the whole time. Another big thing with that too is that certain dead bodies will actually have collectibles on them. So certain ones you can actually just find because you're just raiding the body and you're getting it anyways. And with that, you're getting little bits of cash off the bodies as well. That stacks over time. And like I said, when you start out and you don't have a ton of money, miracle tonics, the collectibles, all that stuff matters over time, especially when you're starting out. You don't have a lot of that money, or you don't have a lot of the items. This is just a way that you can save money, you can get that stuff stocked up, and then down the road you won't worry about as much because you will have the money and it'll be something that you don't want to mess with anymore. So that brings us to number 6 here, which is utilizing certain activities that gain your cores for you. So your heart, right? Your health, your stamina, and then your deadeye. Deadeye is just something that's going to happen naturally as you're utilizing it and as you're actually just hunting and killing other players and things like that. But when it comes to health, you need to either go brawl, I think eating does it, things like that. But a big one is fishing, because if you catch the little fish, you're getting 10 towards that core to level it up. But if you catch the big ones, you're actually getting 20, and you can level that up very, very quick. And I mean, you could probably do that in a day where you could have full health if you wanted to. Now, it's going to be a little bit of a grind, but you could get it done. You don't get the fishing rod till a little bit later. It does cost like $124, but once you have that, my suggestion is go fishing as much as you can, especially when you can get the lures and you can actually get these bigger fish, which doesn't come until I believe late 20s or even level 30. But you can see I have the 20 heart there. With that, I get to then go sell those fish for money, which is the upside to doing this activity. Or you can go brawl a bunch of people and you can get a wanted level after you, and then you have to fend off the police that are after you, and it turns into a whole other thing. Which brings me to my last tip, which is to form a posse. Now, this isn't one I actually follow. I don't like playing with other people that I don't know. And my friends that play games don't play as often as I do, or they actually don't have a PC that they're playing with. So with this, I'll play with my son, but that's about it. Randomly every now and then I'll play with somebody else, but I don't have a posse that I roll with on the game here. I get invites, but it's just I like to play in solitude for whatever reason. I just like to play by myself. But that comes at a cost, which is you can see these guys here just decide to gang up on me. This is actually my first bounty that I did for the PC version, which I'd already ranked up all the way on the console, but going through this again, these guys wanted to mess with me, and it turned into a whole thing. I didn't have anybody to have my back to help out, so it can be something that is highly beneficial for people. It's just something, like I said, I don't particularly like. I like to play in solitude, but that does mean that people will more often than not mess with you. So if you have a posse, you can go brawl a bunch of people and you might actually make it out okay, right? If I go and I do it and they have a posse, it's not going to end very well for me, not only from a like player versus player standpoint, but also because then the law is going to be coming after me and it turns into a whole thing. So that is it, everybody. Thank you so much. Hopefully these tips help any new players to the game. If you liked the video, hit the like button for me. If you want to continue to follow along with all of my content, hit the subscribe button for me. If there's anything that I didn't cover or something that you specifically want to see, let me know in the comment section below. I love hearing from you guys. It just helps me create more content also, and it lets me know where I need to go with all of this stuff. But with this, I'm most likely going to shoot another video down the road, and I'll get into other tips that I have that are a little bit more in-depth that are going to be for more experienced players versus this one, which is really just intended for anybody that is very new to the game. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check back soon for more videos.